Okay, yeah, so thanks for having me. Yeah, I'm Wayne, CTO at Fuse 2. We're a comms provider, voice, SIP, and connectivity. There's about 30 of us. We're not a huge team. We are part of the SEG group, which is much larger, but very much we operate our own innovation and roadmap. I'm going to talk to you today about what happens when a small telco decides to actually build with AI, not just talk about it, not plan for it, but actually build with it. And I'm not going to tell you today that our approach is right. I'm just giving you a little insight into how we've moved AI into our business and product set. So I think the first thing that's really clear, and definitely from the conversations that I've had with operators and partners, that there seems to be three camps when it comes to AI. Number one, we've got the waiters, and these are the ones, these are the companies basically saying, we'll see how it plays out. It might be a little bit too early. Let the big boys figure it out first. And I understand, because AI is quite a noisy place right now. It's not a well-trodden path. And every vendor is sticking AI on their product page, whether it does anything intelligent or not. But the risk with waiting is the gap between those who start and those who don't is getting wider every month. And that is compounding. Camp two, you've got the vendor buyers, and these are the companies who said, right, we need AI, let's buy a product. They go to a vendor, they get a solution off the shelf, plug it in, job done. And there's nothing wrong with that for certain use cases, but when you buy a vendor's AI product, you're not getting their understanding of your problem. You're getting their understanding of your problem, not yours. And in telecoms, the detail really does matter. Your customers, it's your network, it's your fraud patterns. A generic product can only take you so far. And then there's us, there's a have a go Harry's. And we looked at AI and said, we've got the data, we've got that domain knowledge, we've got the engineers who aren't afraid to break things. Let's just start building. And our philosophy from day one was quite simple. It was fail fast, learn faster, but do it safely. We didn't bet the business on AI. We didn't hire a team of data scientists. We picked a real problem. We gave ourselves a short runway, and then we just started experimenting. Our first project was number porting, and I know that's not the most glamorous, but that's exactly why we chose it. And I think all the UK comms providers, you know what porting involves. It's emails back and forth, inconsistent data, manual validation. You know, a lot of people are using BT/IPX, and then you've got rejections, resubmissions, and then on a porting day, you're configuring the numbers, and most importantly, you're updating the billing, notifying customers. And it's a process that touches everything, and it's painful for everyone. So we built a system using a blend of automation and AI. We have an automation backbone for workflow, the sequencing, and that is doing the if this, then that logic. But the clever bit is where AI comes in. So porting requests now arrive to us by our portal using a JSON body via an API. And then we get emails back from the suppliers, and sometimes they're very messy, they're inconsistent, and they're in different formats. And you can't always automate that with simple rules. So you need something that's going to interpret intent. So what we did is we trained a small model with our own data, our porting history, our knowledge base, and our processes. And that's not a massive model. It's not trying to be like full-blown ChatGPT. It's a focused specialist model that understands UK number porting inside from our own vectorized knowledge base. And what that does, it reads emails, it extracts the data, validates against the carrier requirements, and then it makes intelligent decisions. It will submit them, it will query them back, and if it needs to, it's going to escalate that to a human. And the result is pretty much near 100% automation, and it's got accuracy that we could never have achieved manually. So this is what we call an agentic AI system. It's not just processing data, it's making decisions and managing a workflow end to end. So this, what you're looking at now, is an example of our customer portal called Orca. And this is what they're going to see and what our admins also might see. And I know it doesn't look particularly cutting edge. It's just a form to submit a port, but the magic is under the hood, how the entire process and that workflow is managed with the AI and automation blend. So the customer and partner satisfaction has increased. Workloads that previously pushed some of our teams to the limits has now reduced. So reporting gave us confidence that we could build something real. So we asked, what could we build that customers would actually pay for? And that brought us up to call fraud. And fraud detection doesn't sound like the most innovative AI product in the world, but this is why it matters. Most of us have some form of fraud protection, spend caps, rate limiters, basic alerting. And the problem with that is these are often blunt instruments. So you set a spend limit for £500, but someone that, that could you could essentially cut off legitimate customers who are running contact centers mid-shift. And traditional fraud doesn't know your customers. You quite often are applying the same rules to everybody. So we built a tool called Centra. And what this does, it learns each customer's normal behavior, and it spots something, when it's genuine anomalous happening on the network. So first off, it does customer profiling. Machine learning, what we use in BigQuery, it builds a living profile of every customer, and it updates that in real time. Call patterns, national versus international, time of day, destinations, duration, constantly learning. Second, we use real-time assessment. So when a call comes in, we check it against that specific customer's profile. A call to a strange international destination at 3 AM, that might be normal for one customer, but it's a massive red flag for another. So context here is everything. And third, the intelligent decisions. If a risk score crosses a threshold and the customer's bot mode enabled, the system will act in real time. And what it will do there is it will tear down the call across our network before any serious damage is done. And we also support various alerting methods such as SMS, email, and webhook. So Centra isn't purely AI. It's machine learning for the profiling, it's real-time edge functions for the speed, and AI for the intelligent interpretation. It's a product that sits between the commercial and the operational. We actually charge our customers and partners for it, but it also protects our own network. And that dual value, revenue generation and operational protection, is where AI really gets interesting. Porting was operational, Central was commercial. Our next question was, what about the data itself? So we process millions of call records. Every call that crosses our network generates data, destination, duration, cost, and time of day. And this all sits in BigQuery. And up until now, customers got static reports. Maybe they got CSV, maybe they had a portal with some tables. And we thought, what if we made that data conversational? So we built an AI call assessment tool that embeds directly into our customer portal. And when a customer opens a dashboard, they see dynamic graphs, call volume, spend, destination, and trends over time. But next to those graphs sits an AI chat agent. It's already read the data. It's given them an instant summary. Your busiest day, for example, was the 14th of January. 60% of your spend is international, and you're up on 8% from last month. And they can just go ahead and ask, why did my cost spike in week 3? Which numbers are costing me the most? And how does this month compare to last year? The AI queries their data in real time and answers in plain English. And now the critical thing here, which we've already touched on at the start, is security. Every query here is scoped to that customer. The AI literally cannot see anyone else's data. It's locked down at 4 different layers before a single query touches BigQuery. And then we protect our margins too, because the AI, we tell it not to reveal cost prices or carrier information, only what the customer is charged. Because when we first introduced it in a test environment, the AI was feeding back to the customer. They might be able to make some cost savings, and so we had to retrain it just to be really direct on what it fed back to the customer. So we've turned that big data into a conversation, and it turns all our call data from a cost of doing business into a value-added product. And it really is quite impressive to dynamically graph data based on conversations that the user has with the AI chatbot, such as this one you're looking at now, where you ask, show me my concurrent call peak usage, and straight off the bat, it will just graph out their graphs based on their call usage. So I think Dan's going to touch on this a little bit more, but I just want to give you a glimpse of where we're heading next. And everything so far I've talked about is about the metadata around a call: who called, where, when, and how much. But what about what's actually said on the call? So we're building call intelligence platform using the open standard vCon, which is essentially a container format that packages everything up into a conversation, into a standardized object. So right now, a single call generates a CDI in one system, your recording in another, transcript somewhere else, and analytics yet in another. vCon, we put it all in one place. So if a call comes in, we fork the audio from our SBC, we transcribe it, we run speaker diarization so we know who said what, and then the AI layer will kick in. We can do sentiment analysis. Was the customer happy or frustrated? Topic extraction, what was the call actually about? Automatic summarization, a 3-line summary instead of having to listen to a 20-minute recording, and action items, what needs to happen next. And then all of this we can package into a vCon object, store against the customer's account, and from there the possibilities are endless. Compliance teams will be able to search and audit the calls without listening to recordings. Sales teams get the automatic call summaries in the CRMs, and customer service managers can track sentiment trends across their entire team. So that's going to turn voice, which has always been a black box, into structured, searchable, actionable data. And because it's all built on an open standard, it's portable, it's interoperable, and we're hoping it will be future-proof. So I think the key takeaway from my point of view is we're a 30-person telco. We don't have an AI department. We've got no dedicated R&D funding, and we built these systems with a team that we already had. You don't need to be a tech giant to build with AI. You just need that domain knowledge and the willingness to start. Having access to the tools and knowing how to apply them to telecoms are two different things. We spent 18 months not just plugging APIs, but teaching our systems to think like telecoms engineers. And that's where the domain expertise is going to matter. So if you're in camp one, the waiters, what I would say is pick one problem, something that's operational, something that's not particularly glamorous, and give yourself 4 weeks and just see what happens. And if you're in camp two, the vendor buyers, you're going to have to ask yourself, what problems do I have that I truly understand? And if you're in camp three like us, well, I would just say keep going, keep breaking things safely, because that compounding advantage is real. And all I'd lastly say is every AI system we've built has made the next one easier and faster, and the opportunity right now in telecoms is huge. We're sitting on the richest real-time data of any industry, and it's just a question is how are you going to use it?